He married a golden-haired heiress from Derbyshire, and the Hamptons reverted to their blue and gold looks, for which they are famous to this day. The son of the Frenchwoman was rather clever and very worldly. He dabbled in politics and wrote a book of aphorisms. A great and lifelong friendship with the regent procured him, among other favours, an earldom. His mother's family having all perished during the Terror in France, he took her name as his title. Enormously rich, he spent enormously. He had a taste for French objects of art, and acquired, during the years which followed the Revolution, a splendid collection of such things, including many pieces from the royal establishments, and others which had been looted out of the Hotel Montdore, in the Rue de Varennes. To make a suitable setting for this collection, he proceeded to pull down at Hampton the large plain house that Adam had built for his grandfather, and to drag over to England stone by stone, as modern American millionaires are supposed to do, a Gothic French chateau. This he assembled round a splendid tower of his own designing, covered the walls of the rooms with French panelling and silks, and set it in a formal landscape which he also designed and planted himself. It was all very grand and very mad, and in the between-wars period of which I write, very much out of fashion. I suppose it is beautiful, people used to say, but frankly, I don't admire it. This Lord Montdore also built Montdore House in Park Lane and a castle on a crag in Aberdeenshire. He was really much the most interesting and original character the family ever produced, but no member of it deviated from a tradition of authority. A solid, worthy, powerful Hampton can be found on every page of English history. His influence enormous in the west of England, and his counsels not unheeded in London. The tradition was carried on by the father of my friend Polly Hampton. If an Englishman could be descended from the gods, it would be he. So much the very type of English nobleman that those who believed in aristocratic government would always begin by pointing to him as a justification of their argument. It was generally felt, indeed, that if there were more people like him, the country would not be in its present mess. Even socialists conceding his excellence, which they could afford to do, since there was only one of him, and he was getting on. A scholar, a Christian, a gentleman, finest shot in the British Isles, best-looking Viceroy we ever sent to India, a popular landlord, a pillar of the Conservative Party, a wonderful old man, in short, who nothing common ever did or mean. My cousin Linda and I, two irreverent little girls whose opinion makes no odds, used to think that he was a wonderful old fraud. And it seemed to us that in that house it was Lady Montdore who really counted. Now, Lady Montdore was forever doing common things and mean, and she was intensely unpopular, quite as much disliked as her husband was loved, so that anything he might do that was considered not worthy of him, or which did not quite fit in with his reputation, was immediately laid at her door. Of course, she made him do it. On the other hand, I have often wondered whether without her to bully him and push him forward, and plot and intrigue for him, and make him do it, whether in fact, without the help of those very attributes which caused her to be so much disliked, her thick skin and the ambition and boundless driving energy, he would ever have done anything at all noteworthy in the world. This is not a popular theory. I am told that by the time I really knew him, after they got back from India, he was already old and tired out and had given up the struggle, and that, when he was in his prime, he had not only controlled the destinies of men, but also the vulgarities of his wife. I wonder. There was an ineffectiveness about Lord Montdore which had nothing to do with age. He was certainly beautiful to look at, but it was an empty beauty, like that of a woman who has no sex appeal. He looked wonderful and old, but it seemed to me that, in spite of the fact that he still went regularly to the House of Lords, attended the Privy Council, sat on many committees, and often appeared in the birthday honours, he might just as well have been made of wonderful old cardboard. Lady Montdore, however, was flesh and blood all right. She was born Miss Perrott, the handsome daughter of a country squire of small means and no particular note, so that her marriage to Lord Montdore was